So 4.4 part 3 example 2 there says graph y equals -2 cosine of x and y equals cosine of x on the same coordinate system over the interval from -2 pi to 2 pi. State the amplitude and the range of the function. So let's work on our tables. We might not actually draw the graph on this one since we just did the last one, but we're going to practice our tables and then we're going to practice being able to pull the amplitude and the range from the equation. All right, whoops. So let's start with our parent function, y equals cosine of x. What is the period for cosine? No, the period. 2 pi. All right, so remember the period table goes from 0 to 2 pi. Split it in half. And then split those little intervals now we just created in half. To get those x values.
And doesn't it start till 1?
Good. Cosine starts up at the top, so it's going to start at 1, and then it's going to come down to -1, and once it gets to the bottom, what does it do? It goes back up to 1. All right, y equals -2 cosine of x. Is there anything there that would affect my x?
Oh, no.
No, nothing's with the x. What about my y's? Yeah, multiplying by -2. So our x's are going to stay the same. And our y's are times -2. Now when I graph this, what do I expect to see happen to my y's? What is the negative going to do to it?
It's going to go down first.
It's going to reflect it across the x-axis, which means it's going to start at the bottom. And what is the 2 going to do to the graph?
It's going to make it longer. Vertical stretch.
It's going to be a vertical stretch. It's going to make it taller, okay, because we just multiplied it by 2. Do y'all want to graph it? No, you think you're okay with plotting the points? Okay. So tell me about the amplitude. It's going to be the absolute value of A, which is an absolute value of -2. Remember, absolute value is the distance the number is from 0. How far is -2 from 0? 2 places. The negative just tells me we go to the left. All right, and then what is my range? Yeah, -2 to +2. And if you graphed it on the graph, you would be able to see that. Now, just a disclaimer too, guys, I'm only doing the amplitude and the range of our new function, not the parent function, okay? So just for the parent function, what would its amplitude be? We didn't do that on the other one. Yeah, it would be a 1. And so what was its range? Yeah, -1 to +1. And that would have been the same amplitude for y equals, the same amplitude and range for y equals sine of x as well in the previous example.
So you pretty much just get your biggest y number, and that's your amplitude?
Not always, no, not always. This one hasn't been shifted up or down. If we shifted up or down, then that wouldn't work, okay? It is whatever the number is in front of the trig function there that's being multiplied times the trig function. It's the absolute value of that number for sine and cosine only. The other 4 trig functions don't have amplitude, only sine and cosine.
Why?
Because they keep going up and they keep going down.